Well, again, I think how the president and any of the P5+1 partners or Europeans or others look at this is if we can achieve a diplomatic solution where we prevent Iran from acquiring a nuclear weapon, despite the efforts by former President Trump to pull us out of the deal, allowing Iran to move closer to acquiring a nuclear weapon, that would be good for our national security and good for global security around the world.
That White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki earlier today explaining why the U.S. is negotiating with Iran, allowing Russia to do it, and blaming former President Trump in the process. Bob?
Yeah, it's kind of a cheap shot there, by the way, and not accurate either, because let's bring in our panel once again, Stacey and Simon. And Stacey, one thing we should make clear is Iran was cheating on these things to begin with. And even this deal that they're supposedly negotiating, with Russia's help, by the way, they're supposed to sunset. These certain clauses and the development of nuclear weapons set in the future, not even that far out in the future, so we have to go back and renegotiate again to keep them from developing nuclear weapons. But meanwhile, we're going to blame President Trump.
Well, so President Trump has nothing to do with any of this, and that deflection tactic should not be permitted to actually work. Like, I think for us, we have to start assuming that we're the only adults in the room when we're having these conversations. And the minute they bring up Trump, we have to just let's shut that down. President Trump has nothing to do with this. He's not the president. He wanted to pull out of the JCPOA, and he did. So the conversation is really about why they're allowing a carve-out for Russia to build anything if we're sanctioning them. Now, if we're not sanctioning them, then remove the sanctions, because they're really only hurting the Russian people. They're not hurting Putin. He has not slowed down his assault on Ukraine since we locked down all of the accounts, and now we're looking to, take yachts and boats and stuff, and Putin could care less. He actually said that the oligarchs' hearts aren't with Russia. Their hearts are with the West. So in his mind, he is singularly focused on retaking at least part of Ukraine, the easternmost portions, but at optimally, he wants the whole thing, so that he can reintegrate those people and the property, the territory, back into Mother Russia and advance the cause of Russians on the face of the earth. And he's already said many times over the past 3 decades that is his primary concern. So his deal with Iran, that's a strategic partnership. And we need to recognize that instead of engaging in these word games.
Yeah, let me get Simon in here. Specifically what she was asked was, now that President Biden has referred to Putin as a war criminal, we also heard Secretary of State Blinken do that today as well. Why are they still negotiating this Iran nuclear deal with Iran? And then she was followed up with a question asking if Iran has done anything to be removed from the terror blacklist, because that also being reported today. And in answer to that, Jen Psaki refused to answer. Simon?
That in and of itself is ridiculous. I mean, they should certainly talk to the Israelis about Iran. And of course, they could just go to Iraq across the border and look at those incoming missiles from a couple of days ago. This is a plainly ridiculous policy. They are a terrorist nation, and we're allowing Russia to determine the outcome of this negotiation. Trump was right, by the way, to rip up that thing on day one and to threaten them, which he did, that if they carried on the road that they were going on, they would have to deal with the United States of America. And the United States of America under Trump, or you can go back under the likes of Reagan, is not something anybody wanted to deal with. And so that's why we had peace. Trump did not launch any wars.
True.
By the way, I'm wearing my kind of my brown Reagan suit here today, Simon. I thought maybe you'd like that. I went with the light green.
It's good. I mean, WHO, the radio home of Ronald Reagan.
Yes,
Very
sir.
proud.
Simon Conway, Stacey Washington, thank you so much, folks. We'll be back after this.